So welcome back, everybody, to another Scripture and Smoke. So today is the second Sunday of Lent, which actually happens to be my birthday as well, so I am 34 today. So I had already done part of the readings for today, so I was kind of looking around what to read today, and actually tomorrow is the feast of the chair of St. Peter. So what this is just, so each bishop in the world has a chair or a seat or a cathedral. That's where the word cathedral comes from. Or it means like chair. And that pretty much means their place of authority, right? So obviously the chair of Peter is in Rome as the head of the Universal Church. So this is a feast that kind of commemorates that, position. So I'll be reading from the Gospel. And this Gospel I've already read before and I've talked about a little bit, but hey, it's right around the corner, so might as well just read it again. So this is actually taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 16, verses 13 to 19. And again, this is taken from the United States Conference Catholic Bishops website, just like their translations that they have on there. I can't remember exactly what translation. It's probably NAV, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so this is Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 16, verses 13 to 19. When Jesus went to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter said in reply, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus said to him in reply, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed this to you, but my heavenly Father. And so I say to you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of the netherworld shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." So this scene right here in Catholic standards, this is like our biblical proof for the papacy. Now, we didn't take this passage and go like, "Oh, we need to make something for it." It's just like it just helps us explain something that's been around for 2,000 years. So what's happening in this scene is that Christ is giving Peter authority. And generally, whenever and even Jesus said, "Blessed are you, Simon of Jonah." He's blessing him and he's giving him authority, and we are plainly told what is given to him. So he is giving the sole authority to bind and loose sins on earth. But this has to be in accordance with the teachings of Christ. He can't just go off on a whim or something. They're always within the conformity of what Christ taught. But in the same time, this is where we get like a little bit more basis for the. I have not been able to think today, for the sacrament of confession. So how do we know what sins to, bind and loose, right? I mean, we have to know what sins are there. So, I mean, that kind of relates into it a little bit. So Peter is actually given the authority to bind and loose sins, and so I can't remember where I was going with that. So yeah, I mean, so that's what this passage is, and he's actually, and also the other thing, so Christ is actually saying that he is building his church on Peter, on the shoulders of Peter. Well, not on the, he doesn't say on the shoulders, but on Peter. So therefore the church flows from him. So Peter is pretty much becoming Christ's representative on earth, because he's going to ascend into heaven. So that's what's going on here, because generally, you can't, for something to grow and to be accomplished, it has to be organized, right? It can't be just a loose net of believers, because if you don't have consistent authority, you don't have consistent leadership, it's just going to fall by the wayside. And a lot of people argue, well, the church was just a collection of all these small churches and so like that. That doesn't make sense. Not for, if you look at, the consistencies in the early church up till the Reformation, how fast it grew, You cannot do that by just some loose connection churches that didn't do anything, that didn't go anywhere. You had the apostles going out, and going from place to place to place and establishing churches, but then later on you would have some of these people going out and spreading more and more and more. And we even see in some of the early writings, which I don't have up here right now, but a lot of times bishops will, in different dioceses, will actually appeal to Rome for decisions. And we even see in Acts, before Peter went to Rome, he was still in Jerusalem, where it was actually called the Council of Jerusalem, where uh, St. Paul and came to St. Peter to kind of like have counsel with him, and to hammer out some of the early details. And everybody waited to see what Peter would say, because they had their opinions, but what Peter said, they took. Even though, some of them disagreed with them, they're like, oh, Peter spoke, so therefore that's what we have to go by. So you see all these like little breadcrumbs all over the place. So that's all I got on that. All right, so for today's cigar, actually, I have a little special one for my birthday. I've smoked one of these so far, and let me just tell you, wow. But I'll get into the little details of everything. So this will be the 1502 XO. And these things are actually numbered, just like Padrones, because there's only 1,502 boxes of these made. And the boxes are boxes of 10. So the serial number on this one is actually 001978. All right. And to kind of give you a little idea of dimensions, so it's a 6x50 box press, and again, they come in boxes of 10. I bought 5 because I can't afford 10. So there's not a whole lot known about the cigar, about exactly what's in it. We do know that it's a Nicaraguan tobaccos, and that the tobaccos are aged 18 years. So one reason that this thing is premium priced. It's my local store. I pay $21. So I know other places you can get them for lower than that, but that's just my state. And then my store. But again, I buy stuff locally for my store a decent amount of time, just because I like Mike, need to support the place, because they have like cigar events, stuff like that. And if you don't support them, then they go out of business, and then you don't have a cigar community in the area anymore, which I don't like. So, it's a very nice general box press. If you look at the foot, it's kind of like the crumpled foot that you'll come to see in a lot of 1502 stuff. It's really really dark. I mean, it's not like, I guess you could probably say it's like Maduro dark, and it's a pretty dark wrapper, but I don't know if it's a Maduro. I have no idea. It has kind of like a sweet hay aroma to it. Yeah, it's really good, and it looks like it has a double cap on it. Pretty nicely done. That band's really really extravagant. Really gold. But let's go and get it cut up and lit up here. Oh, and as a forewarning for everybody, this cigar, do not smoke it on an empty stomach. The first one I smoked on an empty stomach, and I felt very sick. So that's a forewarning to everybody. Have something to drink and eat it after, or smoke it after you ate. Ooh, it's a little chilly today. I mean, it was really nice yesterday. I cooked out all day yesterday and hung out outside. And I think I might actually have to go in here and get the heater in a second. Or I might actually turn my propane one on here, but we'll see. But off the get go, full-bodied, full-flavored. Wow, it's like a punch of black pepper. Again, very, very punchy with that black pepper. Yeah, it's getting right there. So, and there's a bit of a, I guess, kind of a sweet chocolate on the front of my palate. So that's pretty much all I got. Be back here in a little bit with my thoughts on the first little bit. All right. All right. So we're about 15 minutes in here. You know, I got that focus in maybe. I don't know. Technology. Anyway, so we're about maybe 3/4 of an inch in. So, well, what I'm pretty much getting so that black pepper is boom. It's like way in there, back of my palate, especially on the retro hill. And I'm also getting some espresso as well. That's all I'm really getting so far. Maybe like a little bit of chocolate as well, so kind of like a darker chocolate. Yeah, and again, it's full bodied, full flavored, and it's definitely full strength as well. So definitely not a lightweight stick. So I will be back here in a bit to kind of give you guys an update on the first third. All right. So I am getting done with the first third here. It's been about 25 or so minutes. The ash has been holding on for about an inch or so at a time. It's kind of windy out here, so it's starting to flake off. So I've been having to tap it. And I mean, the burn. If it wasn't so windy, I can guarantee the burn would be perfectly fine. Um, so new developments. So I was actually writing stuff down so I don't forget because I have bad memory about it because I'm just enjoying the cigar and I'm not really thinking about it. So again, big pepper bomb. I'm not feeling as woozy as I was before. Again, I ate before I started smoking it because the first one I smoked, I had an empty stomach, and that was not a good idea. So again, espresso again still, and had the and it has kind of like a muskiness to it, like not in like a bad way or anything like that. And from what I hear, that's kind of like an aged tobacco thing. I have only smoked one really aged cigar, and that was a Padron Anniversary 1926, which I smoked that like really early on. I really need to go and revisit that because I kind of poo-pooed it a little bit because I didn't really feel it was worth the money. But this thing is definitely a good stick. Now it's not an everyday stick, especially for the price. You don't want to make an everyday stick unless you're like a millionaire or something like that. But I have actually had all of 1502 stuff. You know, I've had their black gold, the ruby, the emerald, the Nicaraguan. I would just say like my favorite everyday stick from them. I have just like his four normal sticks would probably have to be the black gold. Black gold is probably my favorite for like an everyday smoke. Now, but this thing is excellent, just fantastic. And as well, the smoke has like kind of like an oily feel to it. Like it's not creamy, but it's definitely oily. So I mean, good, and it's still full bodied, full flavored. So I'll be back here at the end of the second, third guy gig to give you guys an update. All right. So welcome back. So this thing, it's been morphing and changing, but still overall, I'm getting that pepper. I mean, you know, back of the palate. It's not as prominent on the back of my palate, but still in that retro hill. You know, it just sticks to the roof of your mouth. Um, Still that bit of muskiness, but not as strong as it was like kind of in the middle of it. Still that oily smoke. I've been getting little hints of brandy on the retro hail a little bit. I mean, just a smidge. I've been getting blasts of cayenne pepper on the front of my palate, but only like a little bit of it. It's only when I'm actually taking a smoke in. A little bit of dark chocolate, and I keep on getting a hint of sweetness in there, but it's mixed with something else. It's not like a sugar type of sweetness, but it's just has that sweet aspect to it. And again, it's still full body. So this is still not, if you're lightweight, probably not the stick for you. Um, it is actually a very good stick. I would recommend anybody to smoke it just to try it if you can afford it. But but even if you can't afford it, I've seen anywhere so far from like $16 to I bought mine for $21. So you're within that range. I'd pick one up. but but it's a really good stick. It's not a beginner stick. I wouldn't recommend this to be somebody's first cigar. Just for the simple fact, because it is very strong, and also there's a lot of complex flavors. And I don't think a very beginner smoker would be able to enjoy it as much. They wouldn't get as much out of it. But I'm actually going to go and take the band off. Again, all 1502 bands are self-adhesing. I never get any problems with. Actually, I don't know if it's self-adhesing, but I've never had a problem taking them off. But if anybody can see this. And then on the back, it just has like their website. So 1502 cigars. And again, 1502, they are under the umbrella of Boutiques United, formerly House of Emilio, because they just changed their name not too long ago. But anyway, I'll be back here on the next third to kind of give you guys give my final thoughts and everything. All right. All right. So we're about an hour 20 minutes. I'm gonna be finishing up here in a minute. I've had to relight it a couple times. That's my own fault because I'm actually sitting here and working on my computer, so I've been kind of forgetting about it a little bit. So it kind of just went back to it's been a pepper bomb all the way through. Definitely full bodied. I'm still getting a little bit of that brandiness to it. Keeps on going in and out. But overall, fantastic stick. Again, not an everyday smoke. I'm smoking one today because it's my birthday. I'm actually getting a little lightheaded. My stomach's starting to empty. So I'm gonna eat a piece of chocolate here in a minute to kind of get my blood sugar back up. But overall, great stick. So from what I heard, so a little bit more background on this stick. So I was watching Lee Mack. He's another reviewer on YouTube. He was talking about, I guess every year they're going to come out with another Vitola of this. So this year, so it's a 50 by 60, so that's like a Toro box press. So next year they're going to come out with another one, and then the year after that they're going to come out with another one. I'm not really sure how long, like how many different sizes they're going to come out with, but go out and get it right now. I would say because there's a limited number. See if your local shop will carry it, or if they do have it. And if you can't buy a whole box, split a box with somebody. If your store is going to be splitting up the box where they're selling individuals, go ahead and do that. It's definitely worth it. But I'd like to give out a shout out to Enrique from 1502 Cigars. You made an excellent stick, brother. Again, this is the 1502 XO 50 by 60, or not 50 by 60, 50 by 6 box press. All right. So God bless everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys later.